Hello and welcome to my Singapore video. Last Eid, I spent my vacation in Singapore. It was 20 to 23rd August, so 3 nights and 4 days. I know this is for some people this is not adequate to visit a country, but Singapore is very small and actually you can cover a lot of things if you want to. So I didn't cover everything, but I covered almost 80%, I would say. So let's begin. So I will cover in this video the visa, airline, budget, accommodation, transport to use, sightseeing, restaurants, shopping, and the famous Changi airport. So the first one is this is for the Bangladeshi people who are going for the tourist visa. Get a reliable agent. This is very important. An agent is going to guide you what kind of documents you're going to need, even though these are very basic. If you go to the Singapore website, the embassy website, you'll get the whole list, but still an agent will always help you with that. Without an invitation letter, you won't be able to get a visa of Singapore. So what they're charging in Bangladesh is with the invitation letter. If you can't arrange an invitation letter, they're gonna arrange it for you, and it will cost you 5,500 taka. And if you're going to arrange it and going to process your visa processing by the agent, they're gonna charge you 4,500 taka. So Singapore visa, this is the most important thing. Many people have different understanding about it. Singapore visa has nothing to do with other countries' visa. Means if you have 40 more countries' visa, you may be rejected, or if you have an empty passport, you may get the visa. So they have nothing to do with other countries' visa. The most important part is for getting a Singapore visa is a matured bank balance. In Bangladesh, in case of Bangladesh travelers, for tourist visa, they require minimum 2 lakh per person, matured account of 3 months for submission of a visa application. So because Singapore is crazy expensive, so they actually focus on your expenditure power to get you the visa on your passport, because without money you won't be able to survive in Singapore, not even 24 hours. So in rush period, they do avoid a person who skipped a trip, even having a visa of other country. Like I can tell you, like if you have an Indian visa and you didn't go just before this particular visa application, they may decline you, because this is a little bit suspicious, like why this person is getting this visa and that visa and he or she is not visiting that country. That means this person is not eligible to travel. That's how they actually think. All required documents must be submitted in a bunch. It is going to be instructed by your agent. So take a good agent and they will actually guide you with the papers. They may decline you even if you visited before. Yes, it is possible. I have seen many people who got declined. There was no such rules to give you visa. Like they are not bound to give you visa. After submission, visa process duration is 10 working days. My visa took 13 working days because it was a rush hour and I had enough time, so my one was okay. And the validity is 26 days, so you have to be very quick after getting the visa. You have to get your tickets done, and you have to have your NOC from your office. If you're a job holder, you have to get those very quickly. And pack your bags. So take a good time to arrange your papers first. That's the very first thing you have to do to get a Singapore visa. Airlines. If you're located in Bangladesh and not willing to pay too much on airfare, then Bangladesh Biman is a very good option. Just make sure you're not traveling in the festive time like Eid, Puja. In these times, the airline price hikes like anything, so try to avoid that time. Or if you have budget, of course, you can always travel the Singapore Airlines, which is an amazing one. Alternate route. So there is another route you can go. If you have a chance to travel, most of the people are doing that for saving money. because that is another way. So if you have a chance to travel Malaysia first, if you have both countries visa, then you can take a bus to Singapore, which is much cheaper. There are many different luxurious buses available there, and it's not very far away from Singapore. So here you can see a little bit of the map. So let's go the next one. So the most important part, budget. Singapore is super duper expensive. Airfare, Bangladesh Biman, the round trip is 27,000 taka. Depending on the demand cycle, it can go up to 33 or 34,000. I would suggest you to get the bookings done quickly so that you can get in a reasonable price. So 27,000 is quite reasonable price. Budget for hotel, any 2-star hotel within $250 US dollar for 4 days 3 nights. That was my budget. For food, what I actually that is my observation, per meal was minimum $10. Water was the most expensive thing, because they were actually charging 1 liter water 3 Singaporean dollar. So per meal minimum $10, that is actually US dollar. That's what I calculated. Transport, MRT, bus, LRT, tourist pass is SGD, means Singaporean dollar 36 unlimited. So let me show you the, oops, can you see it? Dear Lord. So here is the tourist pass. This is actually $36 and its validity is only 3 days, and it has an unlimited pass of MRT, bus and LRT. I'll tell you about it, and it has actually nothing much to do, because actually the taxi is actually very much available over there, and they charge very reasonable, I would say, because Singaporean $4.50 per kilometer is quite reasonable. Also they have Grab, which is much cheaper than taxi. So I don't find, if you're going from another country and all of a sudden you have to take a MRT, which is quite complicated, I would suggest you to, rather than getting a card, get a taxi. Also, I want to show you something else. They have okay, that was the 3 days unlimited one, and this is another one, which is Explore ticket. This is also the same thing. You just put $10 and you can go for the MRT. But also, I tell you again, I didn't find it very handy for myself, because I went there from another country and their MRT maps are quite complicated for me. I don't know why. I felt it's quite complicated, and it was hard for me to find the MRT stations. And also, if I want to go somewhere specific, since it's a new country and I went there for only 4 days 3 nights, it's very hard for me to find something particular and traveling by MRT. I would rather than prefer the Grab or the taxi, to be very honest. Okay, let's go for the SIM card. It is something you want to get it from airport. It's available and just near the Terminal 1. If you walk down there, when you're in the arrival, you'll find this. So it's the Singtel with 100 GB. You can see it's $15. It's $15, and it's $15 SIM card. So let's go for the sightseeing part, which is the most important one. I would suggest you definitely take a hippo and duck tour night adventure. If you're arriving there in the afternoon, it starts from 6:30, and if you're arriving the other night and you want to take the trip the next day, then take the day tour. And it will cost you, if you're booking from Expedia, it will cost you $32, which is quite cheap. And this is gonna help you a lot for the next day where you wanna plan to spend your more time, because Singapore is not a very big country, so you can spend a lot of time. I would tell you, I would tell, if somebody is going for shopping, they have a lot of place to stop by. So if you're looking for sightseeing and doing something activity kind, so Hippo Inductor is going to help you a lot. So Universal Studio, including Sentosa Island, the entry pass will cost you, if you're buying from the Sentosa Express point, that is going to cost you $124 least. That is what I bought. Actually, that was the like 3 rides free. One was the roller coaster one, another one was the Aqua World, and the other one was probably something else which I forgot. Let me check. So here is the card. Here is the Sentosa ticket. So I can see this is very expensive, I would say. And to be very honest, for the Sentosa Island, the Universal Studio, it's impossible to finish it within one day. 3 ride, it's impossible, practically impossible. Why? When you go there, you'll find thousands of people going there, because the Malaysian people has a very easy access. Also, the Chinese people got very easy access. Also, I saw Indian people got very easy access. So some people are going on weekends and they're staying there for 2-3 days. So most of the time, Universal Studio has like 1,000 people, big queue for the rides. So in that case, you have to be very sure that if your feet are hurting, like I was literally standing for the roller coaster ride 1.5 hour neat. So I couldn't go for the other one because I was standing there in the next ride for 45 minutes, and then I gave up because there were like more than 1,000 people, probably 2,000 people, and I couldn't even see the end. So I actually, after 45 minutes, I came out. My feet were hurting. I had no wish to stand there more. So just let me warn you, if it's worthy, only then buy a $124 ticket. Otherwise, just take the pass from where the pass is actually available from the point. Probably it's the Suntec building. There you will get the pass. So the next thing is Marina Bay tour. You'll get it from Hippo Inductor. If you want to go for it separately by yourself, take the next day. Clark Quay, don't miss that. This is a really quality seafood. Cable car, they have a long line, so be careful about that. Siloso Beach, Palwan Beach. So one thing I must say, don't miss the beaches of Singapore. They're amazing. National Museum, Tintin Shop, whoever is, we were all crazy about Tintin in our childhood. Please go there. They have really nice stuff over there. You can buy also. So Chinatown, Arab Street, Little India, Bugis Street, etc. For all these places, I must tell you, for the budget is $1,000 must. Because you will be not only the entry fee, but also you're gonna need money for food and shopping, which is, I'm talking just about the minimum one. $1,000 was minimum. So accommodation in Singapore is way expensive than Thailand and Malaysia. People who went to Thailand or Malaysia, trust me, it has nothing near to that. It's quite expensive. I stayed myself in a $94 room, and I was not happy with the room at all, because if you're not interested to pay more than $250 for 4 days, then book from Airbnb, Booking.com, Agoda, Expedia, etc. So one warning I must tell you, the hotel room picture will be very deceiving. From picture to reality, it will differ a lot, because the room I stayed, I saw in the website, it looks like amazing. When I went there, 2 luggage and that's it. We couldn't even walk. So be careful about that. So but if you are not in budget, but for $500 you will be able to get a good 3-star hotel from the website. Marina Bay room, who is interested, they will be charging $850 plus for the lowest rate room. So yeah, of course you can do always that. So transport to use. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. What should I use? Singapore is a very small country, but you have to walk a lot to travel if you're taking a MRT or LRT or bus. MRT or bus is cheap for a longer distance, such as if you're living in Farrer Park but you want to go to Universal Studio, it will be smart to take a MRT. It's fast and half of the price of a taxi, since taxi bills are as per kilometer. That means Singaporean dollar $4.50 is per kilometer. But at the same time, I must say, if it's not over 5 kilometers, you're in a rush, you don't know the place well, it's better take a taxi or Grab, because Grab is quite cheap. Taxi is also quite fair. I found Grab very handy because some places taxi is not always available. Also, finding the MRT station was pretty challenging for me. I don't know why. It was quite challenging. Also, understanding the map, which way to go where, that was also very challenging for me. But if you're comfortable to travel in MRT, avoid the office hours. Huge crowd in the morning, 9 o'clock. Trust me, you don't want to get into that. Let's go for the sightseeing. Be smart when you're planning for the sightseeing part. So plan your tour. Before you go to Singapore, book your city tour, Duck and Hippo city tour service from the website just for first day. So even if you spend first day, it will help you a lot to get an idea where you want to plan your next day. So most time consumption place is the Universal Studio. You should keep at least 2 whole days to complete at least 3 rides over there. If you can do 4, that will be great, but the last one for the 4th ride will be paid. I would suggest you to buy the Universal Studio entry ticket from the Universal Studio gate, because it will cost you 74 Singaporean dollar from there. If you take a cab or taxi or Grab, it will cost you probably $12 to $15 to reach there. If you're living in Farrer Park or Little India, all these type of places, it will cost you highest like that. And if you're buying a ticket from the gate, it's going to cost you only $74. I would suggest you to do that rather than buying from the Suntec City and paying $124. You may not ride all. I can assure you, you won't be able to ride all the rides within one day. That's for sure. It's gonna waste your money. I'm being very honest. Don't miss the Sentosa beaches cable car. Cable car got a very long queue. So they have good museums and gardens. Don't miss those. Evening city tour is an amazing one. So don't miss that. Restaurants. Now, it will be a trouble for you if you're either a vegan or a halal eater. Be careful. I'm talking about the people who are Muslim. Be careful in places like Chinatown or Bugis Street. I heard a lot of people told me Hawker Street is selling $5 food, which is very, very cheap. But trust me, it's not for all. I mean, I saw they're using pork fat, pork meat to cook many of the dishes. With all due respect for all, that's not for me or the vegan people or the halal eaters. So the food will be there, but probably you may not have the food. In that case, your food cost actually goes up. So keep that in mind. Your food is going to cost you a lot. Because in my experience, I paid one meal $27 in Arab Street for one day. Well, one meal, not one day, only one meal. So yeah, if you want to eat good, you have to pay a lot, that's for sure. Shopping. Let's be honest. If your wallet is fat, the world is yours. Singapore is a super tempting city. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, all these great brands, they are like in front of your eyes. So yeah, if your wallet is talking, if you have a good credit card, if you have cash or whatsoever, hop in, no issue. Changi Airport. So this is the last phase. When you're going back, I would suggest you to keep some time in your hand, because Changi Airport is one of the world's best airport in the world. I have never seen so big airport in my lifetime. Probably I may not see any more that big airport where from one terminal to another terminal you have to go by sky train. I've seen that for first time. I felt amazing. I had Starbucks over there. I had really good Malaysian food over there. They have a very good range of a lot of restaurants, many good brands. If you have some money left, I would suggest you to save some money. If you're carrying cash, at least keep $300 to $400 with you, so that you can buy some good stuff and original perfumes from there. Because for me, it was so tempting, but I couldn't buy at that time because my money was finished. So Changi Airport is Singapore's one of the best airport in the world. Save 3 or 4 hours for the airport tour before you fly back to your home. So my flight was at 4 o'clock and I went there at 11 o'clock. So I had a great time in the airport. They don't have only the stores or 7-Eleven or any other stores. They have as well very nice hotel room. They have spa. They have some what do you call it? The butterfly garden. They have some other garden as well. They decorated the airport so beautifully. You'll feel amazing just looking at it. So use that part. You may end up getting a very good stuff from there. I got last time I remember I got some $10 discount, but I couldn't use it. I felt so I felt bad. So thank you for watching. If you have any more questions about Singapore travel, feel free to ask. This video was for Bangladeshi people. The budgeting I told you, that is absolutely for Bangladeshi people. But the difference will be always there. If you're carrying a credit card, if you have a good bank balance, of course you can spend more. Nobody's stopping you. So thank you so much for watching and see you again. Bye.